So you want to play a Shaman tank. You've been tanking for years. You've tanked every single class in the game, and you want a challenge. You want something different, something definitely off meta, but absolutely viable, and dare I say, pretty badass if you can do it right. I'm the Dungeon Coach. I'm here to coach you up on some Shaman tanking. This is my level 60 hardcore Shaman tank. I leveled from 1 to 60 as a Shaman tank only, tanked every single dungeon from RFC all the way up to every single General Dracosath himself, level 60 dungeons, and we'll see where this thing goes. But I wanted to make this video as a beginner Shaman tank video because there's a lot of information out there. I'll cite some other stuff here at the end, but I wanted to give a rundown in a really practical way, quick and dirty, of beginner basics of Shaman tanking up to about level 30, and then if this video does well or whatever, I can do a second video on the advanced section for higher level stuff, because things do start to get spicy past level 30 and into the 40s and stuff. But we're going to talk about threat, how you do threat and things, key bindings, abilities, talents, pulling, like how you pull packs at the beginning to make things really easy, doing an actual pull in RFC on a Shaman live, and then talk about a little bit about gear, so you will be able to make your character right now, take your first RFC, and blow people's minds. That's also a fun thing about Shaman tanking, is forming groups and people being like, wait, what? Let me see this thing, and you're gonna blow their mind. So, Shaman tanks, what's going on? How does the whole thing work in the first place? Threat and why it's viable. Blizzard was supposed to make Shaman tanks. It was actually absolutely in the plans. If you look at it, Warriors are obviously tanks, Feral Druids obviously tanks, but Paladins for the Alliance and Shaman for the Horde were meant to be the third tanks. So many things in Paladins being tanks, and they actually turn out to be tanks in retail. Shamans were in the same thing. Look at their talents. They have shield specialization, dodge, toughness for armor, parry. They have all these different things in there, building you to purposely be a tank. They have toolkits, they have threat on their weapons, they have threat on their earth shock. It's crazy. So Shaman tanks actually output wilds amount of threat. I would dare I say more threat than Warriors. I know I might get roasted in the comments for that. Shaman tanking fully geared, like fully geared and optimized for threat like this, like how Warriors don't even wear shield and they just dual wield and stuff. If you optimize a Shaman for that and just go all in with spell power gear, popping trinkets, and all these other crazy things, there's a lot of crazy stuff you can do with earth shocks critting, rockbiter auto attacks. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Especially when you're leveling, you're not dealing with max level people and all that kind of stuff. You absolutely hold threat just fine. And yes, Shamans do not have a taunt. That's the biggest, craziest thing. No taunt. But if you have max rank earth shock and your auto attack and stuff, you won't lose threat at all, even close. So anyway, and there's also no threat drop mechanics early on, this is the early action video. So your threat will be absolutely fine. We'll talk about that more when we get into the actual rotation of what you're doing. Keybinds. Now let's get out of this Shaman here and go to some keybinds. This is all of the abilities you have at level 1 to 30 for a Shaman. I've organized them all right here. If it's not shown on the screen right here, you probably don't really care about whatever this is of what you're looking at, because you probably either don't use the ability or you can use it situationally as you see fit. But the keybinds and abilities, I'm kind of talking at the same time. These are the abilities you're going to need to have to want to be able to know what's going on and what you should keybind, what you should think about. Because your totems, you should think about where you're keybinding your totems. You have 4 different kinds: earth, air, fire, and water, and where you could put them. In general, I like to have them on the same button, either on the mouse wheel or on the keypad, with a shift or control modifiers to kind of change them up so you can stay in control of what kind of totem you're using. Because if you use one fire totem and switch to another one, it cancels out the first one. Keep that in mind. And then there's other things like down ranking, which I don't want to get too fancy at the beginner guide, but starting off super simple. Weapon is Rockbiter. You always and only use Rockbiter. I don't even have the other ones bound. I do, but it's on a weird control command. But all you ever need is Rockbiter. That's it. Just make sure it's on your weapon. Probably want to have a weak aura to put Rockbiter on your weapon. Earth Shock. You need 3 keybinds for Earth Shock. You are max rank, the highest rank of Earth Shock you can possibly cast. Let's say you have 3 ranks of Earth Shock. Rank 3 would be your maximum taunt, and whenever you go into RFC at level 14, you should have rank 3 Earth Shock, and that is your taunt button. You do not spam this, you will yourself in no time flat. The Downranking that by 1 is like your Sunder. It's your actual thing that you use consistently during the pull. You use rank 2 more than you use rank 3. And then rank 1 is used solely for interrupts, right? And this is also true for at higher levels. So if you have rank 4 Earthshock, that is your taunt. Rank 3 Earthshock is your Sunder that you use all the time. You don't use rank 2 at all, and rank 1's your interrupt. That's how it always works, right? Max rank and then 1 down. Except when you get to max level, you kind of go 2 down. But anyway, this is the beginner guide. Lightning Shield. You also want to have 2 ranks for this. Lightning Shield, huge, maybe the biggest first little Shaman tank tip here. Lightning Shield gives 0 threat to you as the tank. It has its own threat table for some unforsaken reason. It's terrible. I hate it. I don't know why Lightning Shield doesn't give us threat. It'd be great, but it doesn't. Lightning Shield does not give yourself threat. I learned that later on, but that's crazy. So it is some of the most efficient damage per mana point spent, so might as well do it. So have your max rank and a very low rank, either rank 1 or rank 2, just very low rank, just to have some sort of damage output. It is nice. But I have to do 2 separate keybinds. Really, mine's mouse rule scroll back and shift mouse rule scroll back, because lightning comes down into your character, feels good. Anyway, that's Lightning Shield. There's lots and lots of times tanking higher level dungeons I don't even use Lightning Shield, apart from just like in between pulls or something. All it is extra damage. It does no threat. Keep that in mind. Pulling. Lightning Bolt and a lower max rank Lightning Bolt. So the biggest thing about Lightning Bolt at early levels is its cast time. So you have the max rank Lightning Bolt, which is what you would pull with, and I usually have a down-ranked version of that, if not the lowest rank, to have a fast pull. We'll talk about why I want to do that here in just a second when we get to pulling. Totems, I have it separated here in easy and hard. What totems do I use and all that kind of stuff? I've tried to make it very simple here. Is if you are fighting easy mobs, you are going to use Searing Totem for single target, because it's just single fire damage. No problem. Strength Totem for easy pulls. Stone Skin Totem for hard pulls, as far as your Earth Slot Totem. If they're not hitting you that hard, you don't need Stone Skin. If they are hitting you hard, then you do need Stone Skin. It's as simple as that. And then Mana Spring to get you some more mana so you can keep going if the mobs are hitting you too hard. And Healing Stream if they are hitting you too hard. Basically, these are your tank totems. Stone Skin and Healing Stream are your tank totems, and Strength of Earth and Mana Spring are your offense totems, like that. Done. Again, this is early level. We're not talking about any air totems at all, because all you have is nature resistance up to level 30. Eventually, this will be Grace of Air and things like that, which Grace of Air is a great offense and defensive totem. But Searing Totem is your single target totem. You only really put these down. Again, Searing Totem, one of the best damage per mana point spent, with the asterisk of if the totem's alive for long enough. So only really on boss fights or pulls where you're pulling to the same spot multiple times. And also in general, it is very dangerous to put down a Searing Totem, because it will just auto attack things. So caution, especially if you're playing hardcore. Watch out for that. But now we get to AoE. When you're doing AoE pulls, and you always usually have 3 packs, 4 packs, whatever. AoE, if it's a long-term AoE, that's the only time you ever use Magma. Very rare do I ever in a dungeon use Magma Totem. It is very rare. Most of the time, it's Fire Nova. Make sure you get the Fire Nova down so that it explodes while during the first target's killed. It does stupid damage. It's a huge amount of mana, but it does do a lot of damage, gets the packs down faster. And if they die faster, they don't deal as much damage. So, and you'll top the meters too. Let's go. But usually this is where you're rocking here, is you have AoE packs, there's multiple mobs on you. You probably want to use Stone Skin, unless you're super geared or way out level the thing. And then Healing Stream. It's further down the chain on globals. A lot of times if you're pulling a whole bunch of stuff, you might not have the global that you want to be able to put the Healing Stream down, and maybe your healer's fine. But if you are taking too much damage, definitely Healing Stream, or if you can put it down beforehand, that's great as well. Lots of times with Shaman tanking, if you know where you're going to be tanking them, you can put the totems down beforehand, drink, top yourself off, and you're super ready to go. But we'll talk about that here in a second. Situational totems, Tremor Totem if there's any sort of fears and things like that. That's very valuable. Sleeps and stuff. Earthbind to slow things down if you got a roach out, get out of there. Resistance totems are obviously great. Flame Tongue Totem. I genuinely don't think I've ever even placed this thing down or pressed this button in my life. Poison Cleansing Totem is great, especially if things are casting poison. Even things like Wailing Caverns and stuff. Fire Resistance, obvious. Nature Resistance, obvious. There you go. And then the situational stocks. Frost Shock does great damage, and it slows. So if there's packs that run away when they get low health, definitely want to pop it on that. But you can down rank it to rank 1, because it gets the slow just fine. And then Flame Shock is the most damage per mana point for any of your shock spells. So instantly, Earth Shock max rank deals the most damage, and then instantly, but over time, Flame Shock does deal the most damage over time. So if you have threat on the mob, if you have threat and there's no way you're losing threat, because trust me, after one Earth Shock, you're not losing threat. If you have threat on the mob and it's not going to lose threat and you're just trying to kill it, you use Flame Shock because it deals more damage over time. And if you don't care about threat, because you have threat and your Rock Biter's hitting it, especially on boss fights, your rotation, which I guess we're kind of getting into now, is Earth Shock, Flame Shock. And then you go back to Earth Shocks as long as the Flame Shot dots on there, and you go back and forth there. So anyway, we'll get into that in a little rotation stuff. But there is the big picture with it. As far as hints at keybinds, I could get into much bigger keybinds and talking about my own keybinds, probably in a separate video if this whole Shaman Tank thing takes off. And then abilities, that we gave the rundown on that. Now we get into maybe my favorite thing, which is talents. Let's get into talents. So now here is the talent tree, and this is again only the breakdown up to level 30 of what you want to do with your talents. And I'm going to go through each of them. Literally, I'll get this out of the way right now. Elemental, you're not going to be going into Elemental until past level 30, as far as any talent points spent after you get your tanking talents here in the center. You're just not going to. There's a lot of really good ones, and in this video, I'm not even going to talk about them because you shouldn't put any points into Elemental at the beginning. It's just going to slow you down getting Parry, which is huge for you to be able to get, and Flurry, which is the hugest for you to get. So you got to get these. Any points here will slow you down. Don't put any in Elemental. Don't put any restoration. There's plenty of awesome things in both, and I can talk about that in higher level videos. You actually have a lot of options, Shaman tanks, as far as higher levels go. But this is going to be the simple one. Never put any points into this. This is dog water for mana. It's 5 points for 5% mana. We're talking that's maybe even the use of one downranked ability. Maybe it's not going to be a lot at all, especially when you don't have much mana in the first place. And we'll get into gearing as far as intellect, but you probably aren't going to have a lot of mana. So every single time, you always, no choice, you always put 5 points into that. No holds in the bar. It increases your block value of the shield and the percentage of block. It's just 100% right there. Now, next, if you're on hardcore, and if you care about leveling it fast at all, and if you care about surviving, if you can, you got to put 2 points in a Ghost Wolf. Absolutely, every single time, no chance. You put 2 points in the Ghost Wolf. As soon as you hit max level, as soon as you, I would even say in hardcore, you have this all the way up to 60, just because it's survivability. Being able to get out of there with a 1 second Ghost Wolf is amazing, and it helps speed up leveling. Not as much so when you get a mount, but you got to do that. But how you do this, you don't put those 2 points in there because you get Ghost Wolf at level 20. So how this would work is you put here, you go 3 points into this, and then, all right, technically you go 4 points into this. At level 19, you put a point here, even though you don't have Ghost Wolf, so it's technically wasted. But for myself, I really wanted that Ghost Wolf there. And at level 20, you can throw it right there. So anyway, that's just Ghost Wolf as far as that goes. And then you fill out the points there. Because this is 5% chance to crit. Super huge and amazing. Kill threat chance with weapon attacks. Absolutely amazing. It's huge. So you got to get this. And then this is where the potential confusion could possibly come in from some Shaman tanks. You have some options here. I am saying this is a non-option unless you truly want to level with two-handed weapons. I was doing a Shaman tank challenge to where I was not allowed to wield even a two-handed staff. I always was tanking the whole time. I called it the Earth Warden challenge. So I did not even put a single point into that. It's your choice there if you want to. That's an obvious choice. I say the talent point to Shaman tank. This, again, if you put 3 points into this, it's 15% damage increase on your most damage efficient ability. Oh my gosh. So leveling speed, this could be useful for leveling speed. If you want to increase your leveling speed, it will not help you tanking as far as holding threat. It is very efficient damage per mana point though. So even when you're down ranking, it's going to be nice to increase the damage on that. So it is a possible choice for you if you want that. It is a viable choice. Another one, which is better at higher levels, not so good at lower levels. You can put 2 points into this if you want to work on survivability. It does increase the amount of damage that it reduces you by 20%. It is nice. The grounding totem part of that is useless, but this is a possibility. But again, I would not put points there for what I'm about to say. And then this again, if you want to get even more strength of earth and get a minimal strength per, you're not going to use this. I don't put strength of earth down that often unless I'm really cranking through packs. But again, a little insight into the future. If you're chain pulling, you don't want to be wasting the mana to drop down a Strength of Earth totem if you're going to keep moving through the dungeon. The only time you really want to is on a boss that doesn't hit you hard enough to scare you, or a spot where you're going to be at for a while. And it's not even really that great for leveling because you keep moving around, so it's just, again, not that great. So what I recommend is 1, 2, 3 points into this, which opens up the next round. So 3 points into dodge, obviously great for tanking, straight up avoidance, dodging a hit. It's good every single time, and this is actually better, especially at early levels compared to Guardian Totems. So I'd say put 3 points into here if you want to make sure you're survivable in a dungeon, or if you want to level a little bit faster, you can put 3 points into there. So that's really your choice. I'd say it was between that and that. For myself, as a hardcore shaman, I would recommend this, because if you die, you're done. And this helps you leveling, take less damage, and in dungeons. And then it's an instant 5 points into here, no questions. This is amazing, absolutely amazing for threat, for damage, insane. And then you put 1 point to parry. And we're going to stop there. That's level 30. Get to level 30, get your talent parry here, and that is awesome, cool. And now you have some genuine options, and that's going to be a whole separate video of the paths and options you can take at level 30. So there's that. Now, talents. Then we're going to get into pulling, like what it actually looks like to pull this thing. And now we're going to go back here into the actual game here and pull. I'm not going to do a dungeon here. I'm going to log out onto one of my many alt shamans here that actually is converted over to the other realm that died a long time ago. But I'm actually going to go into an actual dungeon RFC and do an actual pull. Maybe die because I'm solo by myself, but who cares? I wanted to actually show it live happening so that you can get the idea, and we can talk about any sort of rotation. This is one of the shamans I had died in getting the Cat's Eye Emerald deep in a cave. So fun stuff. But anyway, whenever I have my pull here, as you can see on my bars down here, I have Lightning Bolt, and if I hover over it, it says rank 3. But if I hold down Shift, it turns to rank 1. So if I'm holding down Shift or not, it is rank 3, which is the most damage, and rank 1, which is faster. You can see it's 2.5 second cast versus a 1 second cast. Because here's how pulling works. Let's say I wanted to pull this whole room right here, right? And there's going to be a little bit of asterisk here because these elementals are immune to nature damage, which we'll get into here in a second. But if I want to do a 3 pull, a 2-pack pull is very easy. A 2-pack pull is if I have this right here, I guess this is one little note to say. If I were to pull this pull right here, I would target this worm in the back, and I would cast max rank Lightning Bolt at the farthest target back here, because that is not my kill target. Let's say this is my kill target. My kill target is Skull. I am going to kill the skull first, so I Lightning Bolt pull the farthest mob. So it hits it with some amount of damage to keep it off of healers. I get a little bit of better established threat on that one because it does a decent amount of damage. And then I am Earth Shocking this one. So this pull would look like I would do max rank Lightning Bolt, and as I'm casting the max rank Lightning Bolt, I'm going to target my other one. So I'm targeting this one in the back here, right? The X. I'm going to cast the Lightning Bolt, target the new one, and Earth Shock that one. So as the Lightning Bolt's being cast, I'm targeting the skull, or I target the X, I shoot the Lightning Bolt, and after it's in the air, I am Earth Shocking the skull on pull, and now they're both coming to me. I got an Earth Shock max rank on the skull, and I have a little bit of baby threat on the X here. I probably do 1 auto attack on the skull, and now I'm back and forth. Auto attack, tab targeting, auto attacking, back and forth, right? And again, my Earth Shock is max rank right here, rank 3. That's what I'm hitting with right here. And then I'm going to down rank it and do a Earth Shock rank 2 for the one below that. So for this one, I used to have a macro for it, but once this guy died, I gutted him of all his things. So I'm putting Earth Shock 2 here. So for my keybinds, as far as that goes, for me, I use ESDF to move. That's a whole separate video I have on the channel. Don't worry about that. But for me, R is my rank 2, and T is my taunt, my biggest rank. So I'm gonna hit this with a 3, and after I Earthshock rank 3 this, I am not going to Earthshock it again. I'm going to just go down to rank 2s, and I'm gonna be, whichever one I need more threat on, I'm gonna press Earthshock rank 2 on that one, and I just go back and forth. 2 pulls are super easy. But if I'm doing a 3 pull here, I am going to, let's say that this one, well, we'll keep the kill target the same. We'll keep the kill target the same. And this is the kill target, this is the second, and this is the third. So if this is the situation, this is the very interesting part here. I am going to, and hopefully this comes across with what I'm targeting. I'm going to max rank Lightning Bolt this one while that is in the air, right? As soon as it's left and it's in the air, it's traveling through the air, nothing's going to happen, right? Because no aggro's happened. It doesn't aggro until it hits. I am going to, while it's in the air, change targets to this one. And once I've changed targets to this one, in fact, I'm gonna backtrack here. I'm gonna make this the skull and this the target, so that these two are the set pull and this one's the kill target. And you'll see why I had to do that in here in a second. So let's say this skull is the kill target. I don't care about that one, in either of these two. I just want to lightning bolt them. I am going to, on the farthest one I possibly can, so I have more travel time in the air, I'm going to do the long travel time, big cast, max rank on the far one, and then the second rank, the faster lightning bolt, I'm going to do on this one, and I'm going to earth shock this one, right? So how that looks right here is I'm going to lightning bolt. Oh, it just walked out of max range. I'm going to walk in barely here. Max rank lightning bolt, switch targets, lower rank lightning bolt while it's in the air, and then that's coming, and now I walk up here and shock that one, and we are good to go. That is how the pull goes. Now I'm going to slow everybody down and run out here for a second. But that is the idea. You've now tabbed, each of them has something on them that has threat as far as to keep it off your healer. You have a max rank lightning bolt on one, you had the super quick cast lightning bolt on the other one, and you have shocked the kill target with your max rank earth shock. And that's how that whole thing looks. So other than that, you're just going back and forth. So if I were to do this pull, I'm going to first of all heal up a little bit here, right? Oh, it's fine. I don't have healing wave. I was pressing 4, but I don't have that. So I'm going to put down all my totems. I'm going to put down my strength of earth because I know I'm going to be doing a bigger pull. I'm going to put down my searing. I'm going to scoot back a little bit and put down my searing totem so that it comes down and I'm ready to go there. I don't have any other totems because at first this is all you really have. I don't even have a water totem to put down. I'm going to drink and get to max health. I'm going to put my highest rank, biggest lightning shield on myself, so it deals the most amount of damage, and I'm gonna make sure rock biter's on my weapon, and I'm gonna sit and drink. Now, none of my interface is up here, but I'm gonna sit and drink. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Whatever. I don't have it. Okay, it's fine. So you're gonna drink to max mana, and then here we go. I'm gonna do a 2-pack pull here. So I have this guy on the far side. I'm going to max, and let me make this the skull. I'm gonna max rank lightning bolt this guy on the far side over here, and then I'm gonna earth shock this guy. Boom, it's in the air, earth shock. Boom, I'm hitting them. I'm pulling them back. And I should have probably let them come to me so that I'm next to my totems. I'm next to my totems here, and we're good. And I'm attacking, and now I'm going to, instead of pressing T, I'm going to press R to keep threatening this one. I'm tabbing, I'm auto-attacking this guy. I'm tabbing, auto-attacking this guy. Tabbing, auto-attacking this guy. Tabbing, auto-attacking this guy. And I'm just going back and forth. Yes, I'm going to die. I don't care. I'm just tabbing, auto-attacking back and forth with here. If I want to, I can refresh my lightning shield whenever I start to get low, and that's it. Boom, done, right? That is that's the big picture for how the pulls go as far as getting the pull going and trying to get your threat on everything you can. At higher levels, you get chain lightning, which is absolutely crazy. You don't have to mess around with a lot of this type of lightning bolt shenanigans. But just keep in mind, lightning bolt in the air, nothing's on threat yet. So you can downrank your lightning bolt to shoot on another quick one so you can get more threat on more things. And then you can obviously max rank earth shock the first target, and then you downrank by 1 for every single target after that. Just try to spread your threat around and you're done. And if you have threat on absolutely everything, that's when you can flame shock. And essentially, doing that with your lightning bolt pull is the only shenanigans you have with the lightning bolt pull. And then you have your earth shock ranks that you have to worry about, really, which is just 2. So pretty much just downrank by 1, and that's the one you keep spamming along with your auto attacks. So you're just tab target auto attacking back and forth while you earth shock whichever one you need to, which usually works like whatever your kill target is the one you're constantly earth shocking, downrank by 1, and then you just keep auto attacking back and forth. Is usually how it tends to work, right? Sometimes if I want to, you can get lazy. You can just do a big shock on one and then just auto attack down the main one. Because another thing you want to try and keep in mind, especially at low levels, is after 5 seconds of not casting, you start to get your mana back. And especially if you have some good spirit from some leveling items or whatever like that, you can genuinely start to recharge your mana bar once you have threat on everything. Because once you have threat on everything, your totems are down, you're auto attacking, you can stop Earthshock spamming and just let your auto attacks go and let your mana start to build back up for the next pull. And then don't refresh your lightning shield, don't start flame shocking, don't Earthshock, just let your mana fill back up. for that next pull so that you don't have to stop and drink for every pull, because that's honestly the worst part about Shaman tanking. Isn't the fact that you don't have a taunt. Your threat is fine, especially if you can move your threat around. It is having to drink in between each pull. So if you can establish threat on everything you need to, everything's good, and you can just auto attack your way to victory after that, and everybody's fine. All right, cool. And you start working the mobs towards the next pack, and then when they go down, fine, and your mana's in a better spot, and you can pull the next pack. And then you don't have to, instead of drinking after every pack or every other pack, you can pull like 4 packs or so, and then maybe drink, right? And then you can start to try and drink with your healers and DPS, which is another secret benefit of Shaman tanking is, especially in hardcore, is if you have a Shaman tank, they have to drink. But then if you're drinking and you drink with your healer, then you always are, you start the pull with everyone at full mana, and it's just safer by design. So anyway, the last thing I'll say as far as gear is concerned is, and this is again the beginner guide, so I'm not going to get into the super number cruncher thing here. I used to be a math teacher before I did this whole YouTube thing, so I definitely have some numbers to crunch here. But the super simple basics is stamina and agility. Of the monkey, stamina and agility are your best friend. In a lot of ways, stamina more so than agility, at least at first, because you do need to have a beefier health pool to be able to help your healers out, so you're able to heal better. Threat's not going to be a problem. Agility is nice for the chance to crit, dodge chance, all that kind of stuff. So I would just say stamina and agility are equal and your best stat. And then one notch down from that is strength and intelligence, which kind of are tied in a way. Strength does make you hit harder with attack power, but intelligence does give you a lot more mana, which is obviously helpful in lots of ways. And I really do love spirit. I would almost put spirit equal to those two, and in a lot of ways at some points in leveling I really was pumping spirit heavily. I know this might be weird as a Shaman tank. I really like the playstyle of it. It let me keep moving. It's leveling. It sped up my leveling. Tanking dungeons, I could keep moving through them because I would establish threat and then just auto attack. And I still did solid damage, still had solid threat, and then I would charge it for the next pull the next pull. It felt good, and I like that. Don't wear, it's once you get mail, which I guess at level 30 you still don't, so we'll just say, yeah, all leather gear. Don't have to say anything about that. Fast weapons is what you want. The faster the weapon, the better, because you're able to tab target back and forth between them. Anything slower than 2 seconds starts to get like, if you miss... Oh my gosh, if you miss with a 2-point something swing weapon and you get a shock resist, oh, that's terrible. It's real bad. So you really want to have a faster speed. Usually that's going to be a dagger. If not dagger, probably mace. Very rarely is it ever going to be an axe, and that's pretty much all you got there. And then, I should have mentioned this in my the Molten Elemental, which is literally still on my screen here. This Molten Elemental. If you are attacking in nature immune targets, which in RFC, there's a nature immune target. It's going to pop up every now and then where you just happen to get a nature immune target. Really, it's just the Molten Elementals in RFC, and there's really not a lot. Sunken Temple has some nature immune dragons, which we can get into that in the more advanced video. But really, the only thing you'll have to worry about is just these rock elementals. All you do, you still use Rock Biter on your weapon, just because it does still maintain the high threat modifier, even though it's an earth type thing, and you use Flame Shock instead of Earth Shock. You just Flame Shock, even if the dot of Flame Shock's already on there, you just keep spamming Flame Shock off cooldown. It's going to drain your mana like crazy, but it's the only way you're going to even have a shot at holding threat. I also put down Flame Tongue Totem, trying to just deal damage to not Flame Tongue, sorry, Searing Totem to just beam the damage into it to kill it fast, because it's terrible to tank. But there's the whole rundown. I hope that helps my Shaman tank brethren out there. It is super fun. It's been super rewarding. Seeing groups and running for groups and then being like, oh no, I'm out. No, I'm out. Talk to the group. I have a disclaimer. I have a copy-pasted disclaimer in here that says, give them your resume. I have a lot of years of experience. I know what I'm doing here. I'm doing this. Now, I guess don't lie to them if you've never done this before, but say I'm tank spec, I'm tank gear, I know what I'm doing. This is not a meme. I really am doing this. If you're not, I totally understand. And then my groups have felt fine, and usually ends with them adding me as a friend. And then now you have a little group of people you can go to your friends list to be able to set a group up for. But I hope that helps. And good luck out there, Shaman tanks. Peace.